as I'm an introvert, silent worker, not getting value in the current organization, how do I overcome? I'm working 11 years in the current organization. You need to ask yourself a question. Is introvert something somebody has told you, or your parents have told you, better you are going to be born as an introvert? Yeah, it's a nature. How did you actually identify your nature? Huh? You have become a personality. How did you become a personality? You don't ask the question, so you don't get the answer. You have to ask the questions, right? How do I become that? Someday somebody has told you that you're an introvert. From that you have a bulb on moment. हाँ, इसको introvert बोलते हैं. अब भी मुझे समझ में आया. Isn't it? Now you started calling yourself as an introvert. भैया मैं तो introvert हूँ. कुछ मुझे मैं नहीं बोलूंगा silent हूँ तो I'm an introvert guy. How many of you have actually adopted that label? Yeah. Even though you have not adopted your children, but you have adopted this label for yourself. Because I'm an introvert guy. That is what I was told as well. Do you feel I'm an introvert guy right now? You need to ask yourself a question, correct? That are you guys probably creating a label for yourself just because others think about it? And if that is a question, then you need to ask, why am I being silent? Why am I being silent? There are only two ways people can remain silent. If they are Mahagyani or Agyani. So that is the only reason you actually remain silent for that. You need to ask yourself a question. The silent people or the introvert people actually come because of the understanding of the situation. Okay. They don't want to poke their nose. They don't want to probably get into the interference. They don't want to conflict with people. These are your traits that you have actually inherited for a long period of your personality. Okay. Now it has to do with your childhood as well. It has to do with your upbringing as well. It has to do with your corporate life as well, and so on and so forth. Now that becomes your label, which is called the introvert, extrovert, what we call it as a label for ourselves, right? The answer that you need to ask is, have I upgraded myself enough to get a clarity to speak? Yeah, clarity to speak. Because people don't speak because they don't have a clarity. Do not have the clarity, you will be silent. If you do not want a conflict, you will be silent. Why you do not want the conflict? Because you do not know how to solve the conflict. That's why you remain silent. It could be a boss tussle, it could be a colleague tussle, it could be a team tussle, it could be a client tussle, doesn't matter. But you remain silent because you don't want to get into the conflict and you don't want to lose people. You are more of a personal relationship guy. That's your personality. Okay. That you want to keep good with everybody and so on and so forth. Now, as you go up the ladder, my friend, you need to learn how to remain in conflict. Because if you do not learn how to remain in conflict, people will actually run over you. And I literally mean run over you. They'll crush you. Okay. So if you don't want to get crushed, then you need to learn the skills of creating the visibility, creating the communication, creating the clarity. Being an introvert is not a curse. It's a blessing. Okay. That's number one. Number two, introvert people can create a biggest impact because they actually think through the action. They play the action in their mind before they run it. So they are the best implementer as well. They understand what are the implications. Okay. So first and foremost, you need to recognize your strength. Have you recognized your strength? You put yourself down just by being an introvert as a label. I started with that, and I told you that you need to get the three things, correct? Your clarity, your communication, and your skills. That will be required because unless and until you do not understand how to speak in front of those people, you'll always find it difficult to speak with them. All this, they were not there when they started off. Just like you are not there right now, correct? But they have gone through the journey of that self-evolution, learning, skill development. They've all gone through that. And they are continuing to do that along with the other people. That's what is bringing them out, their own personality, their own self. They are now playing at a full potential, which many of you are not playing yet. Making sense?